Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast with your hosts, Reese Downing and Jacob Workman.
What's up, everyone? Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast, NCAA edition. It's going to be a little bit of a different episode this week, as we're not really going to go over the portal and any of that stuff in our shitty ref segment. We will have a bowl edition of that, don't worry. But as this week, there's a lot of games. We're picking every bowl game in the first round of the college football playoffs, so that is what we are going to be focusing on. Joining, as always, a little bit syphilis in his voice, as you'll hear in a second, but the fine citizen Reese Downing. Reese, what's going on?
I do not have syphilis, but I'm doing okay otherwise.
Sure sounds like it.
I'm dealing with a little something, though. I'm doing all right, though.
Say he suffered through the NFL episode. We're back for this one where we're going to be picking quite a lot of games. As you guys can see on the screen, some of our former Irish mascots have joined us. Andrew Carter. Andrew, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just excited for these football games. Glad to be back on here. Thanks for inviting us, and go Irish.
And then we don't say that on this. And then the other person joining us, our good friend Scott. Scott joined us last year for the Bull Pick'em and a few episodes last year, actually. So it's nice to have him back on this year. Scott, how's everything going?
Good to be back. Looking forward to making these picks and watching some games.
Me too. We've got one starting even tonight. Here we go. Bowl number one of many. Useless fact for this bowl: Scooters is the closest food establishment to where I live. So might as well throw out some useless facts as we go over all these businesses' names. Reese, you ever been to Scooters?
No, I have not.
It's not bad. Their cinnamon roll is straight ass, though, so do not participate in their cinnamon roll. But the coffee's not bad, so it's not a bad place. Just for future reference, skip the cinnamon roll.
Skip the cinnamon roll. Got it.
Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl number 25. Memphis is a 4-point favorite against West Virginia. The last time they will be without Rich Rodriguez. Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas, 58.5 over-under tonight, Tuesday at 9 p.m. on ESPN. I believe Seth Hannigan and Garrett Green are playing. So we have some good quarterbacks in this game. I'm actually interested. I know West Virginia did have a lot of guys go to the portal, but still got their quarterback playing. And Memphis, their quarterback's a stud. So this will be a fun one, I think. We'll do a continuous order here. Reese, I'll have you go first, and then we'll go Carter and Scott. So Reese, go ahead and kick us off.
Yeah, Mountaineers coming in with an interim coach. Garrett Green has been a little inconsistent all year. I do like the Hennigan Super Mario connection going on with the Tigers, so I'm going to take Memphis to win and cover.
I'm with Reese. I got Memphis, West Virginia, interim coach. They had a lot more opt-outs than Memphis, it seems like, so Memphis has a little more continuity. Give me the Tigers.
Make it 3 in a row. Memphis has got something to prove. They've just kind of fallen off the national news last part of the season from a possible playoff team to they got something to prove. So Memphis all the way.
Yeah, I like Memphis in this one also. I just think the offense is going to be too much for West Virginia's defense with all the transfers. I do think it'll be a really good game, though. 58.5 is a good over-under. Kick off the Bulls tonight. Memphis -4. Tomorrow night, Wednesday, we got the Boca Raton Bowl, Western Kentucky. The Tau team's going to be facing JMU, James Madison. James Madison is a 6.5-point favorite at FAU Stadium in Boca Raton. 51.5 over-under Wednesday night at 5:30 on ESPN.
Both teams didn't have great ends to the regular season. JMU's looking for their first bowl win in school history. Historically, the Hilltoppers have played well under Helton in bowl games, so I'm going to take the points on the Tau team.
Right now, I'm on James Madison. This line, though, if it goes over a touchdown, I'll go the other way. But right now, give me -6.5 James Madison.
Well, I'm sitting on the home campus of Western Kentucky currently, so I'm just going to let that ride. And Western.
Hell yeah.
Let's go Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm on Western Kentucky also just because I love their mascot. I love the uniforms. The offense is really good, and I think their offense can keep up with JMU this year. JMU this year wasn't that good of a team like they were in the past under Signetti, so I do like Western Kentucky in this one. The Art of Sport LA Bowl. Carter, what's Art of Sport?
Art of Sport. I don't know. Something fancy out there in LA with art decor.
It's actually supposed to be some sort of like high performance, like athlete shit. I don't know. That's a stupid name for a bowl. This is also hosted by Gronk, also, in case anyone cares. So we got the Art of Sport LA Bowl. Cal is a 1-point favorite facing number 24 UNLV at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. 48.5 over under Wednesday night at 9 p.m. on ESPN.
Yeah, UNLV is coming in with an interim coach. I think the question's out whether or not Ricky White is going to play, but Cal's defense has been pretty suspect on the back half of the season. I like Malik Williams. He's a playmaker, so I'm going to go UNLV here in the points. Or the point, I should say.
I'm with Reese. I'm going UNLV. Mendoza, I don't think he's playing for Cal. And former Notre Dame wide receiver coach Dell Alexander is taking over for UNLV. So I will ride with him.
I'm going UNLV. They start off the season rough with the quarterback quitting on them and have since rebounded nicely. So I'm going to let them ride out the rest of the season with the win here.
Yeah, UNLV damn near made the playoffs. Malik Williams is unbelievable for the people that haven't watched him yet. And I think a little sneaky preview. I know we're a long way away from this, but Dan Mullen going in there, the schedule is not that bad next year. UNLV might be a playoff team next year. I'm on UNLV. RNL Carriers, New Orleans Bowl, Georgia Southern 6-point favorite versus Sam Houston at the Caesar Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. 48.5 over under Thursday at 7 o'clock on ESPN2.
Bearcats have played pretty well all season against the spread as an underdog, so I'm going to take Sam Houston here plus the points in an upset.
Yeah, I'm with Reese. Sam Houston. There's a lot of transfers in this game as well. The OC is staying, and it seems like a lot of their players for Sam Houston are going to play. Not so much for Georgia Southern. So give me Sam Houston.
Yeah, continuity of the team. No transfers or fewer transfers. Gives Sam Houston a little something to play for, and they're not checked out. So let's go Sam Houston.
I'm actually going to go the other way against you guys. I love the Georgia Southern offense. Sam Houston, I mean, they've been good, but again, they're kind of one of those teams where they just weren't as good as I thought they should be. So I'm actually going to be on Georgia Southern minus the 6 here. The Staff DNA Cure Bowl, Ohio, is a 3-point favorite against Jacksonville State at Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida. 54.5 over under Friday at noon on ESPN.
Yeah, 2 conference winners in this one. Ohio's going to be without Coach Alban, who left for Charlotte, but I like how the team has looked here towards the end of the season. I'm going to roll with the Bobcats here to win and cover.
Yep, I'm with you again, Reese. Rich Rod leaving. I think he's probably going to have a lot of guys follow him, the same as Signetti. So give me Ohio minus 3.
I hate to agree with Reese this much to start off the show, but I'm on board here. I think Ohio is going to take it.
Yeah, I am interested in the Jacksonville State player situation because I think if their guys played, I think they would win this game. But for that sake, I will go with Ohio minus 3. The Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, Tulane is going to be facing Florida. Florida is a 13.5-point favorite at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. 49.5 over under Friday at 3:30 on ESPN2.
Yeah, Florida exceeded our expectations this year. I think DJ Lagway is a huge part of that. Tulane also fell off a little bit there towards the end of the year. They may be without Mensa, so I am going to go Gators here to win and cover.
Yep, give me the Gators. That's a lot of points. But Florida was hot towards the end of the year. I think this is going to be a good springboard for them going into 25 for Napier and the Gators.
I think this is definitely a prove-it game for Florida from the start of the season to where they're at. I don't think anyone saw that coming, so I think this is kind of a prove it and move it to the next season. Let's go Florida.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any reason for the Florida players not to play in this one. I don't really think they're going to have too many guys transfer either. So this just seems like one of those games Tulane will hang around, though. I will take Florida minus 13.5. I do think that might be too many points, though. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, Coastal Carolina playing on their home field against UTSA. UTSA is an 8.5-point favorite at Brooks Stadium in Conway. 55.5 over under Monday at 11 a.m. Thank you for that, ESPN.
UTSA backdoored their way into a bowl game after starting the season a little rough. Opposite for Coastal, who lost 4 of their last 6. So I'm going to take UTSA here to win and cover.
Yep, man, Reese. I think you're reading right off my notes here. I got UTSA Roadrunners -9.5. Coastal Carolina starting true freshman Tad Hudson, and this is at least 3 or 4 teams that are just going to roll out freshman quarterbacks and see what they got.
Yep.
Give me the Roadrunners.
Yeah, I think US or UTSA probably is going to take this. That's a lot of points for a bowl game at 11 o'clock in the morning that nobody cares about. I'm not sure how much they'll be involved with it at all, but still take UTSA.
Yeah, I'm going to be on UTSA also. Coastal was not Coastal this year. They were bad. And going even worse, starting a freshman quarterback should be an interesting situation. So, yeah, I'm on UTSA also. We got some famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Northern Illinois is going to be a 3-point favorite versus my boys Fresno State at Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho. 39.5 over under. Watch out, scoreboard. We might as well not even turn it on. Monday at 2:30 on ESPN.
Yeah, it's another random ass kickoff here.
Yeah.
Fresno comes in just bowl eligible, but I do think they have the better quarterback in Mikey Keene. They have been a little more consistent overall than the Huskies, so I'm going to go Fresno here plus the points.
I don't know if this is reported, but I thought Mikey Keene was not playing. Is that reported yet or not?
I think he is not
the notes
playing.
I saw,
I think that's correct.
Either way, give me the best team in the MAC, Northern Illinois.
Yeah, the Northern Illinois almost ruined a season and a playoff berth. So I got to give them some love to pump up their schedule. Let's go Northern Illinois.
Yeah, I had a feeling that those guys would pick Northern Illinois.
We knew it was coming.
I'm. This one's tough because I don't want to pick against Fresno, but I think I have to. I'm going to go Northern Illinois -3. So going from the blue turf to the island, the most beautiful college football stadium, Hawaii Bowl, South Florida will be playing San Jose State. San Jose State is a 5-point favorite at our favorite, the Clarence T.C. Ching Athletic Complex in Honolulu, Hawaii. That is smaller than most metro football fields. 61.5 over under. Give it to us on Christmas Eve at 8 p.m. Just what everyone wants to bring in Christmas on ESPN.
San Jose's had a pretty solid year under Niamatolo, I think is his last name, first year as the head coach. They will need Nick Nash to play for them to have the best shot.
He is not.
8th win, and he is not going to play. So
Nope.
Bulls have also been playing pretty well in the back half of the season. I think this is a little bit of a tough game to pick, but I'm going to go South Florida here plus the points.
I got San Jose State -5. I just think travel-wise, it's a little bit easier. It's my best notes I have here. I know for a bowl game, they get there earlier and should get acclimated and everything, but San Jose State -5.
I think I'm going to have to agree with that. San Jose State, a 5-hour flight is better than a 9-hour flight. Even if you got a little bit of time to acclimate, it's still tough to do. So let's go San Jose State with the 5.
Yeah, I would see San Jose State trying to make this a little bit more meaningful for their program also. Obviously, it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a fun game on Christmas Eve. I'm going to take the points, though. I'll be on South Florida. Anybody know what Game Above is? Is that a real thing? Carter, what's Game Above?
Like an arcade place up above a bowling alley.
Perfect. Game Above Sports Bowl. Pitt is a 7-point favorite versus
It's not
Toledo.
even a challenge there.
It's got to be something from Detroit. I don't know what it's a Detroit Bowl, so it's got to be something there. It's probably something new. Pitt's 7-point favorite versus Toledo at Ford Field, Detroit, Michigan. 51.5 over under. Thursday, December 26th at 2 p.m. on ESPN.
2 p.m. kickoff again. Both these teams have struggled putting points up on the board, especially towards the end of the season. But Narduzzi's team historically plays pretty well against MAC schools. I'm going to go Pitt to winning cover.
Yep, I've got Pitt -7. Narduzzi said Holstein's going to play, and it seems like overall they're going to be a lot healthier without many holdouts. So give me Pitt.
I think Pitt's borderline that top 25 all season. They've got something left to prove that they belong. So let's do Pitt -7.
Yeah, I'm on Pitt also. Narduzzi's not a coach. It's going to just let him slouch around and enjoy a bowl. He's not that type of guy. So I'm on Pitt -7. Game above looks like it is a charitable business, capital investment, sports, entertainment, media ventures, successful, multifaceted brand. There you
Sounds
go.
like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, it's in Detroit, so who knows?
So owned by mattress firm.
Yeah, right. Let's go for the rate bowl. Rutgers is going to be facing Kansas State. Kansas State's a 7-point favorite. Chase Field of Phoenix, Arizona, 49.5. Thursday, December 26th at 5:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Yeah, these kickoffs, man. I feel like that I say this every Kansas State game. It's going to depend on whether or not Avery Johnson can limit turnovers, but I'm going to go Wildcats here to win and cover.
I'm on Rutgers, just getting some points there. Don't really have any good reason, but give me the Scarlet Knights.
I'll go Kansas State. They kind of had an up-down season, but their quarterback could be maybe. So I'll take them over Rutgers.
Yeah, Rutgers just finds ways to lose. I feel like I talked about it kind of as the season went on, that they were just falling apart week by week. And I feel like now they've had 3 weeks to fall apart even more. So I'll be on Kansas State -7. The 68 Ventures Bowl, Arkansas State is going to be facing Bowling Green. Bowling Green's a 7-point favorite at Hancock Whitney Stadium in Mobile, Alabama. 50.5 over under Thursday, December 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Bowling Green won 5 of their last 6, but historically they don't show up in bowl games. They're 1-7 in their last 8, and the MAC school has not won this game in a decade. So I'm going to take Arkansas State in the points.
I'm on Bowling Green. From everything I'm reading, it sounds like all their starters are going to be ready to roll, and yeah, it's a decent amount of points, but give me Bowling Green -7.
I'm going to go with Arkansas State. I just think basically a game in their backyard, give them a little something extra to play for. And Bowling Green, MAC teams in general haven't done what you thought they would. So I'm going Arkansas State.
I think the safer bet for this one is the over. 50 seems way too low. Both of these offenses can go. I like the over in this one. I'll be on Bowling Green -7, though. I think their offense is a little bit better. The Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Oklahoma is a 7.5-point favorite versus Navy at I want to say Amon, even though I'm not. That is not Amon-Ra St. Brown. I believe that is Amon G. Carter Stadium, Fort Worth, Texas. 43.5 Friday, December. What did you say? I didn't hear that.
What up, cuz?
Oh,
Amon, that's my cuz.
Yeah. 43.5 over under Friday, December 27th at noon on ESPN.
Oh, goddamn. Navy coming off a big win against arguably one of the best rush defenses in the nation, but I'm still going to take Venables and the Sooners here to win and cover.
Give me Navy. Getting points. Horvath looked amazing versus Army. I just think it's a lot to game plan for this triple option, and I'd say Oklahoma has more opt-outs and stuff going on than what Navy does.
Give me Navy. I don't think Oklahoma's going to spend 3 weeks preparing for the triple option. They're using this to see what they got for next year. So I don't really think they're preparing much at all for Navy in a game that matters. And with Jackson Arnold gone, I just think Oklahoma is really going to have checked out in a lot of different ways. So give me Navy coming off their big win over Army last weekend.
Yeah, the only thing I'll give Venables is he is used to playing Georgia Tech from back in the day, so he does know it pretty well. But Oklahoma's got a lot of issues going on right now, and I don't think this bowl game is the least of their worries. So I think Navy actually wins this outright. Birmingham Bowl, Georgia Tech's 2.5-point favorite. Our farewell to the Pisser as they play Vandy Protective Stadium in Birmingham, Alabama. 51.5 over under Friday, December 27th at 3:30 on ESPN.
Yeah, this is a game I would definitely take in the over. I am looking forward to seeing Haynes King go up against the Pisser. This is a fun matchup to end the career. I'm going to take Tech to win and cover in a close game, though.
This is one of my favorite bowl games I saw on here. Haynes King versus Pavia. Two of my favorite teams to watch all year. Vanderbilt with a couple big upsets. Georgia Tech should have upset the Bulldogs. But give me Clark Lee, former Notre Dame defensive coordinator, and Vanderbilt to win this one.
I think of Georgia Tech of their season of what might have been versus the team that did it. So let's go with Georgia Tech with a little something extra to prove at the end of the season, and see where they end up from there.
I'm actually going to go here a little. Who would have thought we get college football noon 3:30 on a Friday parlay? But give me the Navy money line with the Vandy money line for a nice little parlay to kick off Friday, December 27th. I'm on Vandy to win it outright. We cannot doubt the pisser in his final game. You know it's going to be a show. I'm on Vandy. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Texas Tech is going to be facing Arkansas. Arkansas is 1-point favorite at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium in Memphis, Tennessee, also known as the Liberty Bowl. 56.5 over-under Friday, December 27th at 7 o'clock p.m. on ESPN.
Do we know if Morton and Brooks are both playing?
I don't think so.
I'm still going to take Red Raiders here.
Morton's out.
Morton's out for sure. I'm still going to take
Yeah,
Red
they're
Raiders
sort
here
of
plus the
freshmen.
point.
Yeah, I got Texas Tech as well. They got a freshman quarterback starting, but Arkansas seems even thinner than Texas Tech. They have only 6 scholarship offensive linemen. I realize you only need 5, but they're pretty thin in the trenches. So give me the Red Raiders.
I'm going Texas Tech as well. They seem to get hot. Arkansas, with their coaching situation, I believe he's going to be back, but that's always a mystery when all season long you hear about your coach. So I'll go with Texas Tech to finish out strong.
I believe that Taylon Green is playing for Arkansas, and if Taylon Green's playing, that's enough for me. I'm on Arkansas -1. The DirecTV Holiday Bowl, number 21, Syracuse is 11-point favorite versus Washington State at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego, California. 59.5 over-under Friday, December 27th at 8 p.m. on Fox. And obviously, Washington State's quarterback is in the portal, so will not be playing probably the best player in the portal.
I'm going to take the orange here to win and cover.
My favorite quote of the week while doing research from Fran Brown, head coach for Syracuse. We don't opt out around here, is what he said. So Syracuse is going to have a full arsenal with Kyle McCord. Give me the orange -11.
Yeah, I wonder how many Ohio State fans looking over their shoulder at Syracuse and wonder what might have been. I think he's got something to prove. Their team's intact. Syracuse all the way.
Yeah, I'm on the Cuse also. I just think Mateer being out is huge. So I'm on Syracuse. We got the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, USC versus Texas A&M. At the beginning of the season, this could have been a potential playoff game. Instead, we're in the Distribution Bowl. USC, Texas A&M, A&M's 3.5-point favorite at Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. 51.5 over-under Friday, December 27th, 10:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Offense has definitely looked better for USC since the quarterback change, but I think A&M's just going to be too much for the Trojans to overcome. So I don't know if you want to play it now or play it
now. Let's go ahead and do that yell together.
I'm taking A&M.
Yep, I'm with you on A&M. USC, I don't know if you guys saw, both the Branch boys got in the portal today.
Yes. It's huge.
I think they're 2 good young quarterbacks, though, Reed and Maiava. Maiava looked really good against Notre Dame. But, yeah, I like A&M better. I think Elko's got a little more stable situation than what Lincoln Riley has right now.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. The coaching situation sets the tone for the rest of the program. USC, they've got people leaving, whispers about Lincoln Riley, and A&M seems to be a far more stable program than what you would have imagined even a year ago. So I'm going to A&M.
Yeah, let's just make this one easy then.
Now let's go ahead and do that yell together. Pass it back, Ags. Hump it, Ags. 1, 2, 3.
We had to save it till the ass slap. All right. We're all on Texas A&M. Wasabi Fenway Bowl. UConn is facing North Carolina. North Carolina's 2.5-point favorite at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. 54.5 over-under Saturday, December 28th at 11 a.m. again on ESPN.
Man, I would love if Big Bill just walked in and coached his first game in this one. UConn's been playing some close games against some decent ACC teams this year. So I'm going to take the Huskies plus the points to keep this close enough.
Yeah, interim coach Freddie Kitchens taking over for Mac Brown. It's going to be exciting to see Bill Belichick coach for 1 year and then go to the NFL. But give me the Huskies getting points here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go UConn. The disruption in North Carolina right now. It's just that whole program's in shambles. We'll see where it leads, but I don't know why you'd hire a 72, 73-year-old head coach and give him a 4-year contract. But that's North Carolina's a problem to figure out. So let's go UConn.
He can opt out after 1 year too, right? I mean,
He can opt out in like
2 months.
July.
Yeah.
He didn't have to start the year. Yeah, I still think North Carolina is a way better team. Their athletes are way better than what UConn has, and only 2.5. I'm on North Carolina. The Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, Boston College versus Nebraska. Nebraska's a 2.5-point favorite at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. 45.5 over under Saturday, December 28th at noon on ABC.
Yeah, Cornhuskers had a rough stretch there towards the end, losing 5 of the last 6. It should still be a fun matchup between Roll and O'Brien, but I'm going to take Nebraska here to win and cover.
The Bad Boy Mowers pinstripe. I like that. I've got Nebraska minus 2.5. I think Raiola and Holgerson kind of use this as a springboard for next year. I just saw, though, Boston College just got 4-star quarterback from Alabama, Dylan Lonergan, just committed to Boston College. So good for the Eagles. But, yeah, Nebraska minus 2.5.
I think Nebraska just got more talent and something to play for, which in the bowl games, these off bowl games mean so much. So I'm going to go Nebraska.
So this is kind of like a future Knoll Bowl here. We took Boston College's quarterback, and half of Nebraska's coaching staff and team is now in Tallahassee. So for the sake of Raiola being there, I'll take Nebraska minus 2.5 because I think BC is losing quite a bit to the portal, even though Nebraska is also. So this is kind of going to be a survival of the fittest here, but one team has their quarterback back, so I'll take Nebraska. We got the Isleta New Mexico Bowl, Louisiana versus TCU. TCU is a 13-point favorite at University Stadium in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 57.5. Saturday, December 28th at 2:15 Eastern on ESPN.
2:15, Jesus. TCU looked good down the stretch. They went through their last 4, so I'm going to take the Horned Frogs here to win and cover.
Yeah, Sonny Dykes says he has no opt-outs. Louisiana could get their starting quarterback back in this game here. If not, it's a true freshman, so kind of keep an eye on this line. But for right now, TCU minus 13.
Yeah, I see TCU as being playing well at the end of the season. Although 13 is still a large number, I'd expect them to carry the day.
Yeah, 13 is kind of a big number. I'm going to be on TCU. I do think that number is big with the way Louisiana can play offense, but I think TCU will be too physical for them. One of everyone's favorite bowls, we got the Pop-Tart Bowl. They revamped the trophy. It actually works as a working toaster now this year, which is awesome. And Miami's dream season. They're the greatest team on earth in Miami history. And guess what? They're playing for a toaster. Stupid fucks. So number 18, Iowa State will be facing number 13, Miami. Miami's a 4-point favorite at Camping World Stadium, Orlando, Florida. 55.5 over under Saturday, December 28th at 3:30 Eastern on ABC.
Unless I'm wrong here, Cam Ward and Martinez are both playing. So I'm going to take Miami.
Yeah, I think that Cam Ward will eventually opt out of this. He hasn't said anything yet. I'm just kind of with the tea leaves of Drew Aller's coming back. I think Quinn Ewers might end up coming back, but not to Texas.
Yeah.
I think Cam might be one of the best quarterbacks going to be first rounders, so he will end up opting out, and I'll take Iowa State +4 because of that.
Well, that certainly changes my plan. I haven't heard that, but I think this will be one of the more entertaining bowls of all these that we've looked at. Yeah, Iowa State, just a real solid team in Miami, trying to show that they should have been or could have been. I'm going to take Miami. Depends on if Ward actually stays or not. That to be determined.
Yeah, the only reason I think Cam will play is because Shedeur is going to play. So I get what you're saying though, but I think they're going to be the 1 and 2 quarterbacks coming off the board. And
from what I'm reading, he has said he is playing.
Yeah, I think he'll play.
I mean, I was just kind of making up my own little thing there. Plus, I get points with Iowa State, but
yeah, I mean, I love Iowa State's defense against Miami. That's the tough matchup for me. there's also the part of it is like, how much does Miami even care about this game? Cristobal is such a terrible coach. You know, I'm gonna give the toaster to Matt Campbell. I'm on Iowa State +4. Next, everyone's favorite, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. What kind of bowl that is, we'll leave that up to Snoop Dogg. But Miami of Ohio is a 3-point favorite versus Colorado State at Arizona Stadium in Tucson, Arizona, 42.5. Saturday, December 28th at 4:30 Eastern on the CW network.
Oh,
this
man.
is a fucking game right here.
That's right. The CW. It's the game of the year. Miami got smacked in the MAC championship. Colorado State won 6 of their last 7. I'm taking Colorado State here in an upset.
Yeah, Miami let me down against Ohio in the MAC championship. Chuck Martin, former offensive coordinator for Notre Dame, as head coach there, and I'm going to roll with him against the Rams.
We've got Snoop Dogg bowl game. So, you know, get out the gummies and the bowls and the versus the team that first legalized the weed.
That's right.
From Colorado. So, yeah, this is let's go Colorado State, just because.
I wonder if Snoop Dogg's allowed in the Colorado State locker room before the game. Because if so, I'm on Miami of Ohio.
I was going to say, I hope not.
Let's.
He can be in there after the game.
This is a tough one. I wonder what the trophy is for this game. That's what I want to know.
42 points in the whole lot.
Yeah, right. Let's go the CW special here. Upset. Give me Colorado State. We're gonna go the Go Bowling Military Bowl. East Carolina. We got Pirates in the Military Bowl versus NC State. NC State's a 5-point favorite at the Navy Marine Corps Stadium, or Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland. 58.5 over under Saturday, December 28th at 5:45 Eastern on ESPN.
Getting inventive with these kickoffs. I assume we're seeing both Blake Harrell and Caden Hauser. NC State's defense has been kind of lackluster this season, so I'm going to take ECU to keep it close enough.
Yeah, quick note, the Snoop Bowl is sponsored by Gin and Juice, not his dispensary. So I don't know if that makes a difference or not. But it is pretty funny that it follows the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yes.
So this might go hand in hand.
Yeah,
I'm on ECU as well. No Concepcion. No Concepcion for NC State. So give me ECU getting points.
Yeah, this is I've actually been to this stadium. It's tiny. I can't believe they're actually trying to hold a bowl game there. North Carolina State just has more talent, so let's go NC State.
If you want to see smaller, tune in to the Hawaii Bowl. You'll definitely see a smaller one. It's crazy. East Carolina was in disarray this year. They were not the team that they've been over the last 2 years. Fired the coach. I know Concepcion's not playing, but I'm still on NC State -5. This bowl game is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most out of the non-playoff games. The Valero Alamo Bowl, number 17, the Storm of Mormons, BYU, number 23, Colorado. Colorado's a 3-point favorite at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. 54.5 over under Saturday, December 28th at 7:30 Eastern on ABC.
This is going to be a hell of a game to watch. This may be the best of the non-playoff games. I am going to go Team Prime here to win and cover.
Yep. It's going to be a great game, but I'm on BYU getting points. They just I'm leaning that way because of the points.
I would never have thought I'd pick Colorado, but I just think that they've got something to prove at the end of the season. Deion's going to take this seriously, and so's his team. So Colorado.
Yeah, the thing that scares me is BYU's offense kind of faltered down the stretch a little bit, but any team that can play offense can beat Colorado, and BYU can definitely play offense. That's why I give them the upper hand in this one. So I'm on the Mormons. We got the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. Louisiana Tech is facing number 22 Army. Army's a 16.5-point favorite at Independence Stadium in Shreveport, Louisiana. 43.5 over under Saturday, December 28th at 9:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech goes thank you to Marshall for quitting. Surprising loss for Army against Navy, but overall they've played a really strong season. So I'm going to go Army here to win and cover.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's enough points. Triple option, again, is just so tough to defend and plan for. And this is Bryson Daly's probably his last game. I don't know if he has any more eligibility. So to get that taste out of his mouth, I think they're going to roll.
Yeah, I'm Army on this. They've actually been relatively explosive for a triple option team. They've thrown it more than some triple option team do in several years. I just don't think Louisiana Tech can compete, and Army's going to have a little chip on the shoulder after last week.
Yeah, I'm on Army also. That's a ton of points for an Army spread, but I think they'll be able to get done. La Tech thought their season was over, and then they get gifted a bowl game. I don't think it's really going to matter to Army. We got the Trans Perfect. I don't even want to guess what that is. Music City Bowl. Iowa is facing number 19, Missouri. Missouri's a 3-point favorite at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. 40.5 over under Monday, December 30th at 2:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Well, assuming we've got Cook, Burden, Noel, those guys are going to be in. Hawkeyes defense has been strong this year, but they've had some problems slowing down the run. I'm going to go Tigers here to win and cover.
Yeah, I'm on Iowa getting points. McNamara's out. Brendan Sullivan's going to start at quarterback for Iowa. Burden's opting out as well for Mizzou. So just getting points. Give me Iowa.
I think Iowa's defense, although this year punting isn't offense, has kind of made steps forward. I don't really like Missouri. They've kind of spent their whole season at the bottom end of the top 25. I'm going to go Iowa just with a little something to prove at the end of the year.
Yeah, this one's tough for me. I'm actually going to be on Missouri -3 here. I just think the offense will be too much, even without Burden. I think Drink will have them ready to go for this one, even though they are a team that's very portal heavy, and that's probably what they're focused on right now. But I'm still on Missouri. ReliaQuest Bowl, number 11, Alabama is a 10-point favorite versus Michigan, Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, Florida, 42.5 over under Thursday. We're just going to say New Year's Eve, Tuesday at noon on ESPN.
Rematch from last year, but obviously we've got a different Michigan team. Pretty significant spread. I've got Bama pulling away late. I'm going to take Bama here minus the points.
Yeah, I'm with you, Reese. It is a lot of points, but Michigan can't put up any points, and they're going to be down both those nice D tackles, Graham and Grant. So give me Alabama.
Yeah, the tackles going away just kind of guts the middle of their defense and how they do it. I still look at 42.5 points and -10. So the pros are not real high or expecting a whole lot out of this game. But I still think Alabama's going to take it.
This game concerns me a little bit just with the way Michigan plays. I think Donovan Edwards said today he's not playing, but I still think they're going to be able to run the ball on Bama. 10 seems like a lot. There is some rumblings even of Ryan Williams entering the portal, which, Jesus, that would be insane. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch over the next few weeks. I will take Bama -10 right now, though. We got the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Louisville's a 2.5-point favorite over Washington at the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. 49.5 over under New Year's Eve, 2 p.m. Eastern on CBS.
I like how Louisville's look towards the end of the season here, so I'm going to take the Cards to win and cover.
I got Washington getting points. Louisville's not sure who's going to start at quarterback. What's his name for Will Rogers is out for Washington, but Demon Williams, I think, played a little bit down the stretch. So give me Washington getting points.
I'm liking Louisville on this one. They're seeing good things happening for next year. So even these young guys are getting ready to step up into the limelight. They're probably going to be taking it pretty serious. I like their coach and what they're doing in Louisville. So I'm a Louisville on this one.
Yeah, Braum got his quarterback for next year with Miller Moss committing the transfer there. That's a huge deal, I think, for the future for Louisville. This year, this is kind of a portal game to me. I think a lot of teams are going to have a lot of changes going on here. I will stay with Louisville -2.5 in this one. We got the Cheez-It Bowl. What was my guy's name? Prince Chedward, I think that's my guy's name, the mascot of the Cheez-It Bowl. He's awesome. The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, number 15, South Carolina, is a 9.5-point favorite against number 20, Illinois, at Camping World Stadium, Orlando, Florida. 47.5 over-under, New Year's Eve, 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC.
Yeah, I mean, Gamecocks ended the season as one of the hottest teams in the country. Probably come into this one just a little bit frustrated just because they just missed out on making it in the playoffs. They would have gotten another win under their belt. The spread's a little concerning to me here because I think Illinois can potentially stick with them, but let's call it a field goal towards the end of the game to bump the Gamecocks over. I'll take South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm with you. At 9.5, I don't really love, but I'm still on the Gamecocks. I think Lenora Sellers will be the best player out there on the field. I just trust Beamer to get them up and playing, and I haven't heard too many rumblings about them having opt-outs or anything. So Gamecocks minus 9.5.
Sports radio down here is all about South Carolina all the time, and they're pretty angry about what could have been, with a little LSU / Alabama, where they could or should have ended the season. So I think they've got something to prove, a chip on the shoulder, and I think they're going to roll in this one.
Yeah, it's crazy to think if the refs wouldn't have screwed that LSU call up against South Carolina, South Carolina's probably in the playoff.
Yeah.
They should have beat Bama too. They lost by 2 to Bama, which would have put them, right in the smack of the SEC everything.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think South Carolina's players are going to be more into this game than Illinois. I think Illinois does play a style to keep this really close, though. 9.5 does seem like a lot. Weather shouldn't really be a factor in this game. Man, 9.5 is a lot. I think Illinois keeps it within 9.5. I think they played a different style of ball. They'll keep it physical. So I'm on Illinois. We got the Kinder's Texas Bowl. Baylor is going to face LSU. LSU's 1-point favorite, NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. 59.5 over under, New Year's Eve, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Yeah, close game at home for Baylor. They won their last 6. I'm going to take Baylor here plus the point.
Yeah, I'm with you. No way I'm picking Brian Kelly in this bowl game. I know he's got Nussmeier's going to come back, but other than that, I think he's losing some players. And Baylor was rolling towards the end of the year. Getting a point. Give me the Bears.
Yeah, make it 2 for 2. Can't pick BK. And Baylor just hot at the end of the year. And I'm not sure where LSU's mind's at as a collective. So let's go Baylor.
I just think LSU's second and third string guys are still way better than what Baylor has. And I think this is rare, I'm going to say this, but I think Brian Kelly's a better coach than Dave Aranda. So I'm actually going to stick with LSU just since it's just -1. I do think they win the game. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Duke is going to face number 14, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is 14.5-point favorite at Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida. 52.5 over under, Thursday, January 2nd at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Yeah, I don't know who all's going to be opting out of this game for Ole Miss. It's definitely not the game I wanted to see them in at the end of the season, but I like the matchup. Malik Murphy's a turnover prone, so I'm still going to take Ole Miss here to win and cover.
I think Malik is in the portal.
Is he?
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, Malik's not playing, so that's
all the more reason that just makes it even easier.
That's why I'm with you. I'm with you, Ole Miss. It's a lot of points, but with no Malik Murphy, I don't see how Duke stays in this one. So give me the Rebs.
Yeah, I don't think without Murphy, who's taking official visits at other campuses right now, Duke stays competitive, even if Ole Miss plays the second and third stringers. So definitely Ole Miss, and I'm not sure 14.5 is going to be enough.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ole Miss's offense will be way too much for Duke's defense, regardless of who's playing. So I'm on Ole Miss also, -14.5. Serve Pro First Responders Bowl, North Texas versus Texas State. Texas State's 10-point favorite, Gerald J. Ford Stadium, Dallas, Texas. 65.5 over under, Friday, January 3rd, 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Take the over. We're going to see both Chandler Morris and Jordan McLeod in this one. I assume both those guys are playing.
North Texas is starting a true freshman at quarterback.
Okay, so Chandler Morris out.
Yeah, he's out.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go Texas State.
As long as the website I got all my information from is correct. They're starting a freshman.
They got Riz scores on there, or whatever the hell that thing was.
AndrewCarter.com.
Action Network, actually. They had all the breakdowns of the opt-outs. So, yeah, I haven't started my own website yet. That's next year. But
We're waiting
10
for
points
it.
is a lot. Give me Texas State, though, -10.
Well, I originally thought Texas State was one of the made-up universities that they use for TVs and movies until this year. So I'm learning something new. And
Don't knock the Bobcats, damn it.
yeah. And they're playing at Gerald Ford Stadium, so that's just seems
Home of
odd all the way
SMU.
around. Texas State, I think, that has put up some real good numbers this year, so I'll go with them. 10 seems like a big number, but if North Texas they're out, we'll go Texas State.
Yeah, 65.5 is a lot, but Texas State's offense can roll. North Texas offense is usually pretty good too, but Morris being out is kind of concerning to me, so that under might be in play there. But I do like Texas State -10. And what could be one of the greatest scenes for this year when the snake oil salesman bathes himself in mayonnaise and rubs it like the big cream machine that he is. I can only imagine what's going to happen on this field in Charlotte. But we got the Duke's Mayo Bowl, Minnesota 6.5-point favorite versus Va Tech. Bank of America Stadium, Charlotte, North Carolina, 42.5 over-under, Friday, January 3rd, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Piss off our Hokie fan one more time by calling it Va Tech before the season.
Va Tech.
Both of these teams have had a lot of closely contested losses this season. Good matchup with the Gopher Rushdie and Tutton. I'm going to go Virginia Tech in the points.
It's definitely Va Tech. And
yes,
I think they're going to lose. They're down their starting quarterback. Drones isn't going to play. So row the boat.
I'm going to go Minnesota. I think that they've come close a whole lot this season. I just think that they've got a little bit more talent and close. So we'll go Minnesota.
Yeah, for the sake of having a video that I can run on this show weekly of the man bathing himself in mayo, I want Minnesota also. The Bahamas Bowl, presented by Atlantis Resorts, Buffalo is going to be facing Liberty. Liberty's 1-point favorite at Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. I do like the Bahamas using a national stadium. I'm sick of all these damn memorial stadiums. I think we need to get more national stadiums in our world. I like it. So the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium in Nassau, Bahamas, 52.5 over-under, Saturday, January 4th. 11 a.m. ESPN2, the final bowl game before the playoffs that we pick.
Bulls ended on a 4-game streak, so I'm going to go Buffalo.
That's exactly what I wrote down too. They finished top, winning 4 in a row. So give me Buffalo.
I think that's the Nassau, the Bahamas would probably be my second favorite location to go behind Hawaii. Buffalo is hot at the end of the season. Maybe next year, hold a New Year's celebration in the Bahamas, watching the bowl. But let's go Buffaloes.
I thought for sure you guys were all Jerry Falwell fans. I'm kind of misled here. I guess. Why are you laughing?
Have you ever been
hilarious?
No, I don't think I'm allowed to go there.
Yeah, they have a complete ban of alcohol anywhere in the county because of Liberty. So that would not have been my higher education institution.
Yeah, if you haven't take a peek at the documentary about Jerry Falwell, it's definitely worth watching. Open your eyes a little bit about that wonderful institution. We'll go Buffalo. I'm not picking Liberty. So Buffalo +1. All right. So we have now finished the pick of the 4,000 bowl games. It's time for games that matter. Friday night, December 20th, we got 8 p.m. Eastern. Kickoff temperature is supposed to be around the 20s. Snow showers in the forecast. Carter, let me ask you something real quick. Do you call this place Notre Dame, Indiana?
It is in Notre Dame, Indiana. I always say South Bend.
Does anyone call it Notre Dame, Indiana?
It's when you get on campus, it says Notre Dame, Indiana, right there on the corner. But yes, it's South Bend.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So this will be the last time the Irish played a home game on a Friday, November 30th of what year, Carter?
I thought you were going to ask a different question. When was the last time ESPN or ABC televised a home game.
A home, I know it's like the 80s or
That's
something.
a
I
good
think
trivia question. But last time they played a Friday home game,
November 30th was the date. What year?
1924. I have no clue.
1900 when they beat, and Reese, this would have been a great one for you, the Chicago Physicians and Surgeons 5-0. What a school. I like that school. So for the first time,
wait, hang on a second. Is the mascot the Physicians?
Chicago Physicians and Surgeons. So I doubt they're a real team anymore, and they're probably like the stethoscopes or something. Like I can only imagine what their true mascot. While you're looking up what their mascot was, I'm gonna go through this. Number 10 Indiana is going on the road to face number 7 Notre Dame. It is very nice to say on the road. We need more of this in the playoffs. Notre Dame is a 7.5-point favorite, over under 51.5. Notre Dame Stadium in Notre Dame, Indiana. Friday, December 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Reese, kick us off.
Well, I don't think they had a mascot, so we'll start there.
That's a shame.
I never thought the Battle of Indiana would include IU football, but here we are. Cinderella season for the Hoosiers and Cignetti. A couple things to look out for here. IU's rush defense against Leonard Levin Price is going to be a fun matchup to watch. Rourke should also be at full strength. Seeing him navigate the Irish secondary is going to be fun to watch. I think Notre Dame's going to win this game. I don't like the spread. I'm going to go Hoosiers plus the 7.5.
Welcome to the Indiana State Championship. I can't wait. Can't believe I got lucky enough to get tickets for the game. I'm going to be sitting right behind the student section. So look for me waving. They announced today.
I saw the towel. Yeah.
And then if you look on the comments, all the IU people were like, "Oh, so original! You stole that from us." Like IU invented the towel.
The
somehow.
towel.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is a really good matchup. I think Indiana. They're a little disrespected nationally. They are a really good team. Cignetti's done a great job bringing in all those transfers from James Madison. They all know his style of play. But I also think that Notre Dame is a little further along in their development. They have more blue chippers. Freeman's in his third year. I just think at the end of the day, there's more talent. I know IU's rush defense is pretty good, but they haven't seen a three-headed monster like Love, Price, and Leonard. I think it comes down to, though, Notre Dame does need to start off fast, get the run game going, get an early lead. If they have to play from behind and Leonard's got to win the game, then I'm going to start getting pretty nervous up there in my seat. But I think even though it's in Indiana, I think the home field advantage is going to be real. That stadium can really get rocking. I know a lot of times people say it's kind of the wine and cheese crowd or whatever, but the big games that I've been to, Ohio State last year, Clemson, that place can get rocking. And IU struggled at Buckeye Stadium and Horseshoe. So just for all those reasons, give me the Irish. 7.5 seems like a lot, but I think they'll end up winning by about 10, probably.
I'm looking at the game weather kickoff is temperatures. It's going to be for most of the game time. It's going to be in the mid to low 20s with the wind, possibly snow showers. So I think that's really going to hurt IU's passing attack, which then will leave them down to running, which Notre Dame does well. I look at the over-under of 51. I think that's way too much in those weather conditions with these teams. But I think Notre Dame probably is going to lead by 10 and finish the game probably on late fourth quarter touchdown. Notre Dame definitely covers. And I think it's going to be a great way to start the Friday kickoff for the playoff games.
This is a great game. I'm glad it's a standalone game. I think it's going to be, a lot of fun. Obviously, you guys have a lot more interest in it than I do, but I think it's going to be awesome. I think what IU can do with Rourke is kind of similar to what Northern Illinois did, though. They can get him moving around, run zone reads, misdirection. I think Rourke can run. If he can stay healthy and take some hits and be fine, I definitely think they can stay in this game. IU's offense or defense, because of what I saw against Ohio State, does scare me a little bit, though. But Cignetti's had time. That extended break is no joke. I think Cignetti's a good coach. I think the time is huge. I'm actually going to take IU to cover. I do think Notre Dame wins the game, But I think IU can keep this close enough to cover.
Hey, one thing on the extended time, I think that actually favors Notre Dame because you have more time to do the X's and O's, this and that, and IU. That's where we kind of, I think we can have that advantage. We have the advantage in players. We have more talent, but given Denbrock and Al Golden time to scheme things up and figure out that offense and what they want to do, I think favors Notre Dame more than anything because they got the Jimmies and Joes, and it gives them more time to figure out the X's and O's. If that makes sense.
Well, and one thing that does suck a little bit for IU is, and well, I guess it might be good that he already took a job, but Sunseri is going to be the offensive coordinator at UCLA. So maybe since he's not doing interviews anymore, it'll help the cause of him to focus more on this as opposed to, like we've talked about that a little bit in the past with some of these coaches just being bombarded with interviews that the games still matter. So maybe him already getting the job will help that case too. But I mean, obviously to me, that has to be weighing on his mind because he has to be recruiting for UCLA right now. So, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Moving to Saturday, number 11 SMU is going on the road to face number 6 Penn State. Penn State is an 8.5-point favorite. Over unders 53.5 at Beaver Stadium, University Park, Pennsylvania. Saturday, December 21st at noon on Max and TNT. Similar kickoff temp, low 20s. It is supposed to be cloudy. An interesting quote from Rhett Lashley today. Someone asked him about the portal timing. And he said, people are bombarding our roster, trying to pick off our roster while we're trying to focus on the playoffs. Obviously, this is a huge problem going on right now, as we talked about. James Franklin's talked about it. We talked about it last week. Penn State lost their backup quarterback, which actually does play relevant time because simply he had to get in the portal. Like college football is a disaster. It truly is. Reese, kick us off.
Hopefully we see second half SMU and not first half version that we saw against Clemson. I would have loved for this to have been a nighttime whiteout game matchup just because it provides a little extra juice, but here we are at noon. I think I'm going with my heart instead of my head in this one, but I'm going to take SMU here plus the points. I don't know if they're going to win it, but 8.5 seems like a lot.
This is the one I think I went back and forth with the most, just with the spread. I think Penn State's going to win it, but the 8.5 is where I'm a little concerned. I think SMU will cover. So as of now, I'm on SMU getting 8.5, but I think Penn State is just the better team. And I think that D line might give SMU some problems.
Penn State's offense really shocked me at Oregon. Just didn't expect, or against Oregon in the Big Ten championship, and did not expect them. They hadn't looked like that all season long. So maybe they found a little juice in the end of the season. I just think that they've got more talent than SMU's seen all season playing the ACC, and they didn't even play the meat of the ACC. So I think Penn State's just going to roll through this one, and we're going to look back and think SMU had a great season and a high five to them, but they're not there yet.
Yeah, I think the weather is a huge deal in this game. If we can keep it low 20s, but no like precipitation or anything like that, I think SMU's got a good advantage here. I think their offense can roll against Penn State's defense. Kotelnicki, that performance against Oregon's defense in the Big Ten Championship was huge. I've talked about Kotelnicki a lot. I love him as a coach. I think he's a huge addition coming over from Kansas to be their offensive coordinator. I'm actually shocked he's not taking a head coaching job. I think he easily could be one of the highest prospected coaches in college football. But I just like SMU's offense, and I don't trust Penn State. Drew Aller announced he's coming back. Obviously, they did lose one of their weapons with the backup quarterback that does play quite a bit in a change of pace role. I know, what the hell's his name? Davis Warren, the ridiculous do-it-all player for Penn State is going to be there. He's an absolute stud to watch. SMU is going to have to focus on him. But if they can slow him down at all, I do like SMU in this one, and I think they're live to win this game. So I will be on SMU plus the 8.5. Next, after that, 4 p.m. Eastern, same day, number 12 Clemson's going on the road to face number 5 Texas. Texas an 11.5-point favorite, over under 51.5 at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium in Austin, Texas. Saturday, December 21st at 4 p.m. This one's also going to be on Max and TNT. Pretty easy weather in Austin, Texas. Sunny and low of 60s.
Yeah, so we've talked about it a lot this year that the Longhorns really don't have the home field advantage that you think they would have a lot of times. Klubnik is also from Austin, so it's going to be a homecoming for him. Tigers have been generating a shitload of turnovers in the back half of the year, which could create some problems for Ewers. Ewers is also sounding like he's leaving Texas at the end of the season, so I don't know if that's going to play a role in this. I don't know if Texas is going to lose outright here, but I, again, don't like the spread at 11.5, so I'm going to say Clemson in the points.
Yeah, I'm on Texas here. It seems like a lot of points, but what Clemson does well is the big play this year, and Texas is really limited to that. They haven't allowed too many. I think they have way more horses than Clemson. I do think that they need to bring in Manning a little bit, have him switch up the offense some. I'm really surprised they didn't do that against Georgia. Have him come in there and run a little bit of read option and stuff like that. Change it up. 11.5 is a lot, but I think Clemson really doesn't even belong here. So give me Texas. Hook 'em.
Clemson has gone from all-decade team to just very good. They're a good team now. Yeah, maybe their portal philosophy changes, maybe it doesn't, and they just sink back into mediocrity. But Texas has more talent. As long as Ewers doesn't turn the ball over, I think Texas is going to roll.
Yeah, though I know Clemson wasn't what Clemson's kind of been the last few years. I mean, they're still pretty good. I think 11.5 is too much. Texas, I mean, yeah, they're Texas. I do kind of agree with you. The story of this game is Clemson's offense versus Texas's defense, because Clemson can come out and just lay an absolute egg in games sometimes. This is obviously going to be a big Garrett Riley, Cade Klubnik, what can you do game. I do think they can get it done enough. I think Phil Maffa will have a good game. I actually like Clemson to cover this one. And going back to what you guys were talking about with Arch and Quinn, I've seen rumors of both. I've seen rumors that one will stay and one will leave. It's kind of which one will leave. There is talk that it could be Arch leaving because teams might throw like $11 million at him, which is just absurd. So I don't think that's really going to be too big of a factor in this game. Obviously that'll be a story down the road, but I think 11.5 is too much in this one. I am actually on Clemson. Final game of the first round, standalone game on Saturday night. Number 9, Tennessee is going on the road to face number 8, Ohio State. Ohio State's a 7-point favorite, over under 47.5 at Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. Saturday, December 21st, 8 p.m. on ESPN. Kind of similar as the other two cold weather games, low 20s, partly cloudy. Nothing real crazy here.
Yeah, I'm honestly a little bit surprised by the spread here. Vols have been top 10 scoring offense and defense all season. Iam Aliava has been playing well on the road. Buckeyes are dealing with some injuries on the line. I'm going clean sweep and taking the dog again here. I'm going to take Rocky Top in the points.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's too many points. I just have not been that impressed with Ohio State for as much money as they spent in NIL. I don't think Will Howard's that good. That offensive line is shaky at best. Tennessee's defensive line is legit. I think if Tennessee gets off to an early lead, I think the Boo Birds are out there, and Ohio State is shaky, and it could be a problem there. And Rocky Top's going to travel real well for this one. It's drivable, not as close as Bloomington, Notre Dame, but give me Rocky Top getting 7.
Yeah, I look at this one, and for all the reasons that you've already put forth, I think the horseshoe could just turn into a death spiral for Ohio State if they start off slow. That offensive line, since the injuries, has really been decimated, and the team suffered. The running backs they thought were going to be great, just haven't been able to find the space. And it didn't take Michigan defensive tackles to kind of slow them down this season. It just hasn't been what they thought, especially for the money that they paid for that team. So I'm going to go with Tennessee for the outright upset, and then just listen to the talk radio in Columbus explode, calling for Ryan Day, and we'll take it from there.
Maybe enter Mike Vrabel. So we'll go. Interesting game here. We talked last week. Me and Reese went through our preseason playoff previews. We both had Ohio State as national champion. We both had them as the 1 seed. Obviously, this team was the paper champion going into the season. we did say Will Howard was a question mark, and he has proven to been a very big question mark. He's not that great. We saw what Michigan just went into the shoe and did to them. Tennessee can follow this blueprint and have way better. Tennessee's way better than Michigan is, but that running game Tennessee has with Dylan Sampson is ridiculous. I think they can basically literally go the same game plan that they just saw Michigan use with a little bit more of a passing game because Nico Iamaleava can throw the ball very well. The receivers are good. And Heupel is good for some bullshit. There's going to be a trick play somewhere. I just think this sets up too well for Tennessee. And my God, just wait for that first 3 and out or 2 3 and outs in a row. And you guys are right. Like, that stadium's going to turn quick. I don't even know if the fans want to win this game. Like, that's how crazy it is. I think they want him gone. Like,
I agree with you.
It's a crazy situation. Like,
I'm close friends with a few pretty heavy Buckeye fans, and I don't think I've talked to a single one of them that has said that they want to see Day come back. I think everybody's done with
I just don't think they're just not gonna flip a switch and all of a sudden figure it out. I know they got the talent to maybe do it.
Yeah, and that's the only thing. Yeah.
Roster, but
I said that is the thing. They have the players, but those players in any game that's meant anything have not played. So that's I don't know. I find this one very hard to believe. I think that this line is crazy to me. Like, if you're going to favor Ohio State, I could see a 3 or a 3.5, but 7 to me just seems absurd. So I think that put us all on Tennessee, right?
Yep.
Yeah, my Michigan friends want Ryan Day to stay more than the Ohio State friends.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a given at this point. It's crazy how teams can be so mad at a 2-loss season. It's just funny what college football does. I guess when you spend $700 million and you don't win, that does piss people off, though. So that does wrap it up for us. We've picked every bowl game. We've picked the 4 first-round college football playoff games. Next week, the college episode will probably not go on next week. It'll probably return, if we had to guess, right around Monday, December 30th, right before we kick off the second-round games. So next week, it'll be pretty much NFL only. But we got a ton of bowl games to watch. Obviously, we got the first time ever for the home field playoff games coming up this weekend, which is going to be huge. Any last thoughts before we go? Reese, got any last thoughts?
No, I think it's interesting that you and I both went dog on all 4 of the playoff matchups. It's maybe not quite as surprising that the Notre Dame boys almost lined up completely. Scott going with Penn State threw that off a little bit, but yeah, it should be a fun season. I'm looking forward to, especially these playoff games. Should be some really good matchups across the board.
Carter, you got anything to close it out on the bowls or playoffs?
yeah, I just think it's super cool that Notre Dame gets to host the very first one, the most historic program in college football, and I get to be part of the very first home playoff game. Like, I think it's just super cool that I have this opportunity to go, and glad I was able to on here and talk football, and it should be a good weekend of games, and hopefully bowl season's good, and go Irish.
If Notre Dame wins, or even if they lose, if you guys would like to return for our round 2 picks, it'd be awesome.
Especially
Scott,
especially if they lose.
I mean, if they lose, hey, I'll be rooting for Signetti. You know how us Hoosiers, I mean, I'll get behind them, but
yeah.
I just think they're going to be a little bit outmanned this time.
Scott, you got anything to wrap it up for this week?
No, I think that we got a bunch of good games. I love the home games at the stadiums. I like to see that stretched out to the second round as well. That might relieve some of these championship, SEC championship, Big Ten championship concerns. If you got 2 home games for these teams, I really love that. I love the home field advantage. Earned that through the season. I'd like to see that expanded to the Final Four, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, I wish Boise was getting to host a game in round 2. I think that would have been awesome. Going back what you said about being able to be at the first playoff game on their home field, I actually was at the very first college football playoff game, the Florida State-Oregon game at the Rose Bowl, which I will still reiterate, please, let's get the national championship at the Rose Bowl every year. That's where it belongs. Carter, you're a college football historian type. I think you would probably echo that. You're probably one of the few that would probably agree with me on that.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that. There's going to be changes coming. Hopefully they're learning. I mean, that's what it is. We're going to learn, and no matter how many teams you have in the playoff, there's always going to be someone that feels left out. But they need to do some changes, and I think it'll happen pretty quickly here. So, but yeah, Rose Bowl for the national championship would be awesome.
Yeah, it seems like expansion's coming, and hopefully, please just get a few more of these games on home fields.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully those first round matchups for the 4, they get the bye, will be home games.
Yes. But that is it, everyone. I know. Oh, what?
One thing, it's kind of interesting. You guys all picked the Dogs, and they're all the away teams. So it'll be interesting how much this home field advantage really pays off. And some of that's the point spreads in there that we're betting on here. But
that's kind of my thought was it. I'm not sure Vegas quite knows how to operate this yet. And I think some of these spreads are getting bumped a little too much because of the home field.
Yep.
I don't think these teams are that far apart in any game. Honestly, the biggest differential in talent is probably the IU Notre Dame game, to be honest. I would say Notre Dame's probably the one that deserves to be the biggest favorite out of the 4 games.
Yeah, the NIL has made such a big difference in the season, along with the transfer portal. I think you're going to see more seasons like this going forward, where the talent is diffused as teams as outstanding as an SMU or a Boise State, Syracuse, what they did. I just think that's the future of the league.
Well, yeah, any team that has money. I mean, when you can have players that should be playing at all these big schools and you can pay them to be your starters, you're going to be a lot better. And that's clearly what this season showed. It's college football's going to be insane. Yep, it's coming. Next season we'll have it. But that is going to wrap up every bowl game, first round college football picks. So Scott and Carter, thanks again for joining. Co-host Reese Downing, as always, back. We will see you guys next week for an NFL episode, and then in about 2 weeks to pick the round 2 of the college football playoff. We will see everyone later. Goodbye, everyone.
Cheers.